All right, today we're going to dive into one of my absolute favorites, Susan Hill's really powerful play, On the Face of It. In this explainer, we're going to break down part one and really get into the deep life lessons that pop up when two completely different worlds collide. So let's get right into it.
So right away, we meet our main character, a teenager named Derry, with this one incredibly powerful line. It just immediately sets up his core struggle, doesn't it? This isn't just about a physical scar on his face. It's about a much deeper psychological wound. He's projecting his own fear onto everyone else, convinced that they only see him as some kind of monster. And where does this whole conflict take place? In a single, really important setting, Mr. Lamb's garden. This is the stage where these two worlds, these two completely different ways of seeing life itself, are about to meet head-on.
Okay, so just picture this for a second. Derry doesn't use the gate. No, he climbs over a wall. And that one single action tells you pretty much everything you need to know about him. He's expecting to be alone, he's expecting hostility, he's basically coming into this space already braced for a fight, assuming he's somewhere he shouldn't be.
And boom, here's the immediate clash. Derry's on the defense, right? I'm not here to steal anything. He's trying to justify why he's there. But Mr. Lamb, his response is just total openness. He just points out that the gate was never even locked. It's such a perfect metaphor for their whole philosophies on life. One is completely walled off, and the other is wide, wide open. So this brings us right to the heart of Derry's pain. All that defensiveness, it comes from this belief he has that his entire identity, his whole being, is defined by one single thing: his face. I mean, wow. This is just such a heartbreaking thing to admit. The fear that he thinks he sees in other people is really just a reflection of his own self-hatred. His external scar has created a much, much deeper internal fear. It's not just about how people see him anymore, he's actually become afraid of himself.
And he uses this incredibly vivid phrase, "It ate me up." Just think about that for a second. It's like he feels his true self, the person he is on the inside, has been completely devoured by his physical appearance. It's honestly a perfect description of how a negative self-image can literally become your entire reality.
So the most important thing to get here is that Derry's own thoughts are the real prison. He's become his own worst enemy. His mind has spun this distorted reality where he only sees rejection and fear. And because of that, he pushes people away before they even get a chance to know him.
But then, in comes Mr. Lamb, and he offers this gentle but really profound counter-argument. He introduces this whole philosophy of wholeness that just directly challenges Derry's narrow, painful view of himself.
When Derry insists that his face is all anyone ever sees, Mr. Lamb just says this: "No, not the whole of you." 4 simple words, but they change absolutely everything. It's a complete rejection of the idea that one part of you, especially a part you didn't choose, could ever define all of you.
So what Mr. Lamb is really getting at is this idea of the whole self. You aren't just your body, right? You have a mind, a heart, talents, thoughts, a soul, the whole deal. He's trying to get Derry to realize that he's been so laser-focused on the one thing he feels is broken that he's completely forgotten about all the other parts of him that are whole and amazing and valuable.
And to really illustrate this point, Mr. Lamb uses the garden itself as a sort of test. It's a test of perception, a way to show how our internal mindset completely shapes the world we see around us. He asks Derry this really simple question: "Look around my garden. What do you see?" And honestly, this is a question we could all ask ourselves. When you look at the world around you, what's the first thing your mind grabs onto? Derry's answer is immediate, and it's pretty much what you'd expect, right? Rubbish, weeds, just unwanted stuff. He only sees the flaws, the imperfections. But Mr. Lamb? He sees something totally different. He calls it his weed garden. He sees life and growth and all this interesting variety. It's the exact same physical garden, but they're living in 2 completely different realities. And this leads us to what might be the single most important lesson from their entire conversation: our perception of the world. It's a mirror. Derry sees a world that's full of ugly, worthless things because, deep down, that's how he sees himself. Mr. Lamb sees a world full of interesting, living things because that's what he chooses to focus on.
Now, just as Derry starts to just maybe let this sink in, Mr. Lamb reveals something that completely reframes their entire conversation. He shows Derry that they are not so different after all.
Turns out he has a tin leg. His real one was blown off in the war. And all of a sudden, this isn't a conversation between a whole person and a broken one. It's a conversation between two people who have both dealt with physical loss and the judgment that can come from the outside world.
And this just lays out the fundamental choice that they each represent. They both carry a physical wound, but they've chosen completely different ways to live with it. Derry chose self-pity and isolation, always focusing on what he lost, and it built a prison all around him. But Mr. Lamb? He chose acceptance and openness. He focused on what he still had, and it allowed him to live this full, open, connected life.
And that really leaves us with this final, crucial question to think about. Derry climbed over a physical wall to get into that garden, right? But the real wall, the one that was truly keeping him trapped and isolated, that was the one he had built inside his own mind. So it's worth asking ourselves, what are the walls we build? And are they actually protecting us, or are they just trapping us?